Hello everyone and welcome to another battle in the Pixel Dreams League. I'm one of your commentators for the day, WiFi, and my other co-host commentator, DS Gamer.
Hello.
We've got a battle here, Lynx Forte versus Marashu.
Marashu!
It should be a good one. We've been seeing a lot of good battles coming from the Pixel Dreams League.
Alright, so an interesting team here.
Yeah.
Looking at Marashu's team, you see Mew probably gonna lead.
Maybe, perhaps. Might want to lead with that cloister right off the bat. That's setting up.
It's tempting, but it's more of a revenge killer slash setup sweeper for the end game.
True, and Lynx's Sableye is going to shut that thing down if it tries to set up.
Exactly.
So,
so
the Mew is probably the best bet for leading. I would have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah. As for just team synergy, nice balance. I mean, just an eclectic sort of, no glaring holes. And Tanga Growth is a bloody wall. Florages is good too. Vaporeon's a beast.
Yeah, it's a lot of bulky Pokemon. Half bulky, half kind of...
Yeah, because Cloyster, if it's the standard, Focus Sash or White Herb.
Oh, I run King's Rock on mine. That's what I do. But we're going to receive word that the battle will be starting soon.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going into the battle. So.
All right. So let's see. So I'm expecting Lynx to just lead with his Sableye.
I'm expecting. We didn't get to see the bottom screen. We were too focused on the opponent's top screen. But as predicted, the opponent did lead with and I thought he was going to lead with Megalopony.
I see.
Makes a lot of sense.
I've actually never used Megalopony, so I can't really speak to its usage straight off the battle. So this is good because you get the Mega Evolve to fake out free damage.
Exactly. No matter what the opponent wants to bring in, Lynx will be able to get that free Mega Evolution. He'll be able to get off that free damage, that chip damage. He'll also be able to scout the leftovers on this Mew if Mew happens to running it.
So it is definitely a bulky Mew.
No leftovers, though, which is weird.
So this is where it gets interesting because if Mew's running any sort of psychic attack, that's gonna.
Mew typically doesn't. Mew typically.
As a lead, I know it doesn't.
Yeah, it tries to spend its time doing Stealth Rock and other such.
Stealth Rock, Soft Welder, Roost, Ice Beam, stuff like that. But I mean, it's not running lefties, which is why I'm sort of, who knows.
Now the smart switch from Lynx into Sylveon, potentially a Will-O-Wisp coming out. He doesn't want.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and a Thunder Wave. All right, so any kind of status. He obviously doesn't want to get Megalopony status, it's a good call on Lynx's part. And I'm not sure if this Sylveon is a Heal Bell variant, so it may very well be able to get rid of that paralysis down the road. So
yeah, it is just going to be the standard coverage utility Mew, and we see the Hyper Voice coming out. Let's see how much that does.
A good solid chunk.
That is a lot of damage. Okay, so
even if that Mew Roost just soft boiled, I don't know if it's going to want to keep taking PD.
It won't. That did almost 70%.
The opponent may very well just want to switch out.
That's what I was going to say. If the opponent doesn't want to sack the Mew, they'll switch, but they're going to be taking a Hyper Voice to the face, and Excadrill could be a good switch in. I don't know if Lynx's Sylveon is spexed. If it is, that would make sense given the damage output. But Excadrill is a very real switch in here.
Very true.
But it's very early in game to make gutsy plays like that.
Well, I would have to agree with you and say that Excadrill is probably the safest play. If Lynx is locked into a Hyper Voice, Excadrill should be able to take at least one and then revenge kill with an Iron Head. So
absolutely. I'm sorry, I sort of misspoke. It's too gutsy for Lynx to predict that and switch as of right now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And we're just waiting on the two trainers to make their moves. They are.
And Marashu
is going to recall his Pokemon.
Indeed, is the Excadrill, of course. And let's see how much this does.
It should do a pretty solid chunk of it.
Probably like 40%.
Wow! That's a lot.
That is a lot. So
Lynx is not going to want to stay in, however. He's He's obviously going to be outsped by the Excadrill. We don't know what this Excadrill's running. It's going to go for the Iron Head. So Lynx
Seismitoad is a great switching here. He goes for the that's fine because he can cripple now this Excadrill. Although the Seismitoad would have
taken the Iron Head better, but now Lynx can exert the pressure onto the opponent's team.
He can also recover if he feels too much pressure.
Or go right for the Will-O-Wisp. The Will-O-Wisp is probably the best option for Lynx right now, just to be able to cripple anything that the opponent wants to switch in. And if he decides to go for the Will-O-Wisp, this obvious Excadrill Iron Head, the second one's not going to do as much. So.
And we do see that Court Jester is running leftovers, so Lynx in a perfect position right here, and we do see the switch.
Going back into Mew. Good play, just in case the burn does come out.
Oh, and the double switch!
Lynx pulls a double! Lynx pulls a double into, it looks like,
the Nidoking.
Which is a pretty good play on Lynx's part.
Yes.
Very well played on Lynx's part.
So now, I'm just trying to remember Marishu's team. I don't know if he has any flying types, but an Earth Power right here would be phenomenal.
One of the best things that Marishu could possibly switch in right now is Vaporeon. True, if Lynx predicts that and has Thunderbolt in Nidoking's arsenal, he will be able to hit that Vaporeon very hard on the switch, but Vaporeon's really the only thing that can take a hit from this Nidoking at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I mean, the opponent, while momentum is still definitely in Lynx's favor, it hasn't really picked up. Oh, and the Sludge Wave.
So that Mew goes down. Lynx doesn't have to worry about that Mew anymore, which is always a good thing.
We're going to see the Excadrill almost certainly come in.
Yeah, we'll be able to learn if this Nidoking is scarfed or not. If it's scarfed, Link will obviously lose a bit of momentum and be forced out by the Excadrill, but...
Well, I'm wondering, have we seen... I can't remember. I think this Excadrill might be scarfed, given that it's Mold Breaker. I mean, and there's no other Sand Setter.
It's possible. It's possible. We didn't see any kind... I mean, we didn't really...
No, it's not orbed, and it was only using Iron Head. I would say that my gut feel is that it's scarfed, and so I would respond with Seismitoad when it inevitably comes out. But we'll see what the... Oh, it's going to be...
Vaporeon.
Vaporeon, okay.
So, either Lynx is probably going to want to switch out because no attack that Nidoking has access to is going to be able to one-hit KO this Vaporeon. Yep. And he does not want to take a Scald if he can help it.
Yep. So Seismitoad would be a pretty... Does Seismitoad have Water Absorb?
Seismitoad does have access to Water Absorb, so...
So I would... I mean, it'd be good to get Rocks up on his side of the field as well. So Seismitoad would be a pretty good switch in here.
I just want to go back to the play that Lynx made a couple turns ago with double switching into Nidoking. The Will-O-Wisp was quite obvious from his Sableye, and if the opponent had gotten the Mew in, it would have been able to synchronize the burn onto Sableye, which is not good.
Yes.
So it's a good predict on Lynx's part.
Yes.
But, as you say, he goes into the Seismitoad. We'll see if the opponent... Yeah, the opponent goes for Scald.
And there's the Water Absorb.
Water Absorb comes out. Scald is useless against this Seismitoad. So Lynx having all the momentum right now.
In all likelihood, this Vaporeon is a bulky Cleric. So it's probably only running Scald if it's attacking.
Oh, so it may have Ice Beam, or you're right, a possible Wish. Yeah.
So it is going to be the Wish.
The Wish, yeah.
So I don't know Seismitoad's moveset here, but
Seismitoad will most likely, if Lynx is going to predict the Excadrill coming in to receive the Wish, Lynx is going to want to go for the Scald. But that's an obvious play.
It's got to be the Mew. Oh, and it's going to stay in. Maybe it's a Scout.
Possibly the Scout. I mean,
and that does a... Oh,
that's a critical play. Oh, but it's a Life Orb variant.
It's a Life Orb variant. Oh, so it does have the Ice Beam. Okay.
But, of course, the opponent isn't going to want to switch Excadrill straight in with Seismitoad because, as we just saw, the Earth Power, or any one of Seismitoad's moves at this point, could take that Excadrill out in one hit. So, the opponent having to play a little conservatively, going to have to be a little careful if they want to win this battle.
So the Sludge Waves are just sort of...
Scouting.
Decent damage. Poison would have been nice, but
Another Wish comes out, and this might get a little slow now with Wish stalling and chipping away for damage. Lynx's Seismitoad is not indestructible, however. It is being worn down by its own Life Orb and the Vaporeon's Ice Beam, so Lynx is going to want to switch out.
Into Sylveon, perhaps? Yep, he's going to go into the Sylveon. I like that play. So it's probably Specs, as we've said. And its special defense is so high anyway. She should be able to take this pretty well. It's already paralyzed.
Exactly, it can't get frozen.
Exactly. Just safe Hyper Voice.
Yeah, if this is a Spec Sylveon, then the opponent really doesn't have anything that they want to take Hyper Voice, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a great switch.
That's the power of Pixel 8 Hyper Voice Sylveon. It's just... Fairy type is a very potent offensive type in this metagame right now, and if you can just spam Hyper Voice, then you're good to go.
So we've seen Scald, Ice Beam, Wish.
Attack is most likely to get last one.
That's what I was going to say, and this is going to do massive amounts of damage.
So here's where the mind games can come in now. The Protect is obvious from the opponent, but go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so there is the Protect. I was going to say you go for the Hyper Voice anyway, because if you do any other play and you let Excadrill get healed, you're in a bad spot.
And Lynx also has to contend with that paralysis. There's always that nasty 25% chance that the paralysis will kick in and Sylveon will do nothing. So possibly the opponent might switch in, feel gutsy, and get Excadrill in on a paralysis, which could turn this whole battle upside down.
Yep, for sure.
Always a nasty side effect, that paralysis. Cut sweep short, and it can kick in at just the worst time. And because this Sylveon is almost certainly choice Specs, there's no way that Lynx is going to be able to heal Bell off this paralysis. He's kind of stuck with it for the duration of however long Sylveon stays in. So even though it's paralyzed, Lynx is still kind of on the high ground at this point. The opponent has to hope for Parahacks at this point.
Yep. The opponent, is taking a while, so maybe they're
calculating the move.
Yeah. So they just go for the Wish again. So just gonna try and stall out. Now, Wish has 10 PP.
And there's the paralyze. Yep. Wish has 10 PP, but almost certainly the opponent has PP maxed out the Wishes.
I know. I was just wondering what its base was, because then so it's at 16, which is it's already used probably 4, I think. So yeah, this is just a little bit of a lull, but there's nothing really that Lynx has that can take out a physically bulky Vaporeon.
Now can't get the burn obviously on the Scald, and the Scald does pretty nicely. Chunk.
A crit would be nice.
Crit would be nice for Lynx, but we'll have to see. The opponent should be able to live another Hyper Voice, provided min-max damage doesn't kick in, or a critical hit.
This is really tough for the opponent right now. If I was the opponent, I would Protect, because that would give me a little bit more passive healing, and then I could get a Wish off. Because if you Wish now, you're not guaranteed. That's pretty close. I think I might go down. Oh, but we're going to see a
Lynx is probably predicting that Protect.
Predicting to Protect.
Goes into the Seismitoad. There's not really much Lynx can do to this Vaporeon. And there goes the Protect. The obvious Protect. Now, what can Lynx do to this Vaporeon? Because this Vaporeon is basically just a stalwart. It's not letting Lynx do anything. Lynx cannot get any momentum as long as this Vaporeon is on the field.
It reminds me of when I used to use Umbreon. This is exactly what would end up happening, unfortunately.
Though I have to say...
Sorry?
So I have to say... Vaporeon's water typing is more of a potent offensive type.
Oh, no, definitely.
And defensive. But here comes the Florges. We'll see what Lynx
So, a Sludge Wave, okay. Okay, so...
Shouldn't do that much. No, doesn't even do half.
So you know what's interesting? Now, this might be a little bit of a shot in the dark, but maybe he switches in Forges knowing that Seismitoad has the Sludge Wave, and it will double switch into the Excadrill to get some momentum so he can take out the Seismitoad. Oh, so he just stays in. Never mind.
Sludge Wave is not going to KO.
Not going to be enough.
But now, unfortunately, the Florges is going to go down to the Giga Drain.
Yeah.
I think Lynx was hoping that the Sludge Wave would do enough with the Life Orb coupled with the super effective hit, but unfortunately, the Sludge Wave doesn't do enough, and now this Florges is still around. But fortunately, Lynx has a couple of options that he has available to him where he can revenge kill this Florges pretty easily.
So the Megalopony is pretty enticing for me, given that there's Fake Out for free damage, as well, you know, a return or a high jump kick. Return probably would be best, but yeah.
Lynx also has his Durant that he can use, a Swift Iron Head.
So it's going to be the Nidoking.
I was going to say, Durant in this situation would probably not be the best choice, simply because there are so many other things the opponent has to switch in Durant.
Yeah, there's a couple checks, you know, Vaporeon, Excadrill, Cloyster even. So this is another bit of a mind game. Is Florges in range for an Earth Power knockout? Because
I'm going to say
he does go with me. Sorry, with what I was thinking. And yes, there it is.
Down goes the Florges. That Pokemon is going back to its trainer. It is going down, and Lynx is up again, 5-4. And the Florges is gone. That bulky special defensive wall or sponge is out of the way, and now the opponent probably will go right back into Vaporeon just to threaten this Nidoking out once again.
Oh, it's going to be the Excadrill.
I see.
And that's because it's
most likely Scarf. Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say, as opposed to the Vaporeon. I thought Excadrill was for sure going to come in because you get an Earthquake off, regardless of any move that you make. You're going to be hitting something with an Earthquake. It's a good move by the opponent, but we'll see how Lynx responds.
This will kind of shed some light on whether or not Lynx is scarfed or not, because if Lynx wants to switch, then he does.
So he is Life Orb, and he's just going to sack the Nidoking.
Perhaps Lynx was scarfed also and was scouting to see if his opponent was scarfed.
Oh, that is very true.
However, Lynx doesn't really have anything.
No,
I mean, he has Durant and Megalopony. They don't really like taking an Earthquake, but I'm sure they can take one if needed.
Yeah, Durant is probably the best switch here. I don't know what moves Lynx is running on his Durant. I'm assuming Iron Head and maybe... so we're going to see the Durant. Yep. It's a good play, and...
The Earthquake is going to hurt, but Durant has a pretty respectable defensive stat. It should be able to take at least one Earthquake, and then possibly revenge kill with some kind of move, possibly Crunch, possibly... I'm not quite sure what Durant could use against this Excadrill.
I'm actually expecting this Durant to be scarfed, and I wouldn't put it past the opponent to switch here, because the opponent knows that the opponent knows that Excadrill is its win condition.
Exactly.
So it wants to conserve that as much as possible. The only way that Excadrill is going to get hit.
And there's the hustle, of course, yeah.
Oh no.
So now Lynx, who had all the momentum at the beginning of the battle, things are starting to look a little rough for Lynx now, because this Vaporeon is just too much for Lynx's team to handle.
Yep. So what's interesting here is there's some moves that the opponent can make. Can Ice Beam expecting the Seismitoad.
Seismitoad is fainted.
Oh, is it really? Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. It went down to the Florges. So yeah, this is a really tough spot. I'm expecting Sylveon to come in, yeah, and it's just a sack, to be honest.
It's quite possible.
If it's a Scald, it's a sack. If it's an Ice Beam, yeah. So I'm expecting Sylveon to go down. Oh!
But, of course, Sylveon is paralyzed, so Vaporeon will be going before it. And if this is indeed a sack, I'm not quite sure what Lynx will want to go into afterwards.
Sableye will be his best bet. You get a recover off, and...
Oh, a quick attack.
Oh, nice!
Last minute quick attack.
Get some chip.
Doesn't do a lot. In fact, I'm pretty sure leftovers will mitigate all of the damage that it just took. However,
leftovers that it wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
And with Mega Lopunny's fake out and high jump kick potentially, it could spell the end of this Vaporeon, which Lynx would greatly appreciate since this Vaporeon, as I said, is just...
Yeah, it's the Vaporeon is, you know, a huge check to most of this team. The Vaporeon gets out of the way. Okay, so it's just getting some.
Gonna get the protect, which is a pretty good play on the opponent's part. The obvious play, of course, but Lynx doesn't really have anything else he can do other than go for the fake out.
Yeah. Also, you know, there's in case the opponent thought Lynx would go for a high jump kick right off the bat.
Exactly.
So we're
high jump kick comes out. Doesn't do too much, and depending on whether this burns.
Okay, it doesn't burn.
Fortunately for Lynx, it does not burn. Now, here's where the mind games come in, because the opponent can go for protect.
The protect is imminent. There is no question in my mind that this will be a protect.
And Lynx, hopefully, might have seen that and went for a return instead.
Perfect play.
And here's where more mind games come in. Is it going to go for the double protect?
That's something that I would risk at this point, because really, if you feint the Mega Lopunny, game's over.
Oh, okay. So just withdraws.
And do we have the high jump kick coming out? It's
in with a Tangrowth.
Oh, I forgot about the Tangrowth. That is going to be...
This thing is also going to be rather hard to defeat now that Nidoking is gone. The high jump kick does a nice, respectable chunk.
Oh, and it's got the Rocky Helmet. So this is, if it's running Ice Punch, which I'm assuming it is, just for coverage, do you want to use the Ice Punch to take out the Cousin It and not worry about fall damage from high jump kick?
Not necessarily, since this thing has Regenerator, it's probably going to want to switch out. So anything...
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
Anything that the Ice Punch hits, it's not going to be Tangrowth, basically, since Tangrowth can just switch out and get all this health back.
So the best bet is to just continue high jump kicking.
Hoping that it doesn't miss.
Hoping it keeps connecting.
Lynx hasn't gotten burned yet in this battle. He got paralyzed once, I believe, but he hasn't missed a high jump kick, so praying to Arceus that he doesn't miss any more high jump kicks, I'm sure. As the opponent and Lynx.
Probably going to switch as he thinks about what move he should make here. Who's good to switch into, because, you know, someone's going down on the opponent's end if high jump kick.
If high jump kick connects, there is something that's going to go down. Absolutely.
Yeah. Unless, of course, the Cloyster is Focus Sash.
But if it's Focus Sash,
there's rocks. Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, something is going to be going down. The question is, what do you want to be going down?
I can guarantee you that in the next turn, something, whether it be something on Marashu's side or Lopunny itself, something is going to go down. So we'll just have to wait until both trainers command their Pokemon. And looks like the Tangrowth will go down, which is an interesting choice on the opponent's end, seeing as how that Tangrowth walled that Mega Lopunny pretty hard if it was able to get Regenerator health back. So now, Lynx just has to worry about taking care of that Vaporeon, and...
Here is the only play that Lynx can make. You switch into the Nidoking, or sorry, the Nidoking is fainted, yes? You switch into the Durant, or whatever he has left, to sack, and then on the free switch in, bring in the Sableye, recover, spread some status. That's the only thing that can be done right now.
Or, of course, you can keep Mega Lopunny in and allow it to be knocked out, hoping that Durant and Sableye can do the rest of the battle for him.
With a Cloyster and a Vaporeon, I don't think Durant has yeah.
Well, I'll have to say, we'll have to see what moves the opponent and Lynx make.
It's the Durant play for me is the only way to keep this game at all in Lynx's favor.
And I have to say, this battle has been a pretty interesting one. It's been a wild ride.
There's been up and downs. You know, Lynx had a lot of momentum, but then, you know, just a couple good checks by the opponent, and it went into their favor. And now we're looking at, you know, it's 3-3, and both players have answers for each other's Pokemon.
I think the turning point in this battle where Lynx lost a bit of momentum and where the momentum started to shift was where I'm pretty sure Lynx felt confident that the Sludge Wave from Seismitoad was going to take the Florges out. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't, and Florges was able to answer back with a Giga Drain and knock it out.
Yep.
So, yeah, Link sacks Lopunny.
Oh, okay.
So, down goes the Lopunny.
So, okay, that's fine. I mean, given Lopunny's HP, it could be a better... I can't remember what Durant is at, but, you know, one missed high jump kick and that's the game. If you leave it up to RNG, this might be a bit safer of a play, especially if Durant is scarfed. So we'll see.
However, now Lynx's only option of checking or defeating that Vaporeon is to pull out some stalling shenanigans with Sableye, hoping that he never gets burned and having to keep recovering.
Yeah, recover, and then you burn the Vaporeon, obviously. Oh wait, is it Heal Bell?
No, it's got Ice
Yep,
Beam installed, so it does not have Heal Bell.
Yeah.
So in comes the Durant.
Oh, okay. So counter. Okay, let's see what.
Depending on what this Durant has as coverage, it could. The way Lynx has brought it in, it's almost certainly Scarf. And
yeah, that's a foregone conclusion, really. But the question is, what does it have that can take you out? I honestly don't know what it has access to. I've never really used it.
I can't remember if Durant has access to Earthquake, though I'm almost certain it doesn't.
So it goes to the X-Scissor?
Out. And
oh, yes.
With the hustle added in, it is enough to take the Excadrill out. So that is lucky for Lynx.
So a Scarfed Hustle enough. So we are going to see the Truant ability on the Durant here. So,
yeah, so Lynx is going to be forced out by the Truant ability, as the opponent will undoubtedly set up a Shell Smash with the Cloyster as Lynx switches with the Truant ability.
And that's GG. No, it's
so in comes the Cloyster. Hopefully Lynx will be able to hit with another hustle boosted X-Scissor. Given Cloyster's high defense, I'm not sure
it will take it out. It won't.
It almost. I have to agree. It probably won't take it. I mean, it won't take it out.
But the good news is that Cloyster is likely running Rock Blast, Icicle Spear, Ice Shard, most likely, and Shell Smash, obviously.
It might be running Hydro Pump or Razor Shell, however. It might not be running that priority.
Yeah, that is true as well. But either way, we're gonna have if it wants to do anything, it's gonna have to get a Shell Smash up. So an X Scissor here.
It's obviously Lynx is going to want to land those X Scissors. He does not want to miss. Oh, he decides to switch.
I thought about this.
Interesting choice, actually. We'll see if the opponent predicted that.
Yeah.
Because if the opponent predicted that, no, the opponent did not. And so now Lynx can get off of a Will-O-Wisp and cripple this Cloyster.
Except for the fear. Let's see if it's.
No.
So it's not Winter. No, I'm not worried about Lumberry. I'm worried about Hydro because it's game over if it has Hydro.
True. However, it's now got its defense lowered. So and it has
the Ice Shard. On the Ice Shard, which it survives. Okay, well, unfortunately, Sableye is sacked at this point. It's not going to be able to recover. Actually, how much did that do?
I think after the
Sableye have
Sableye
Protect?
Should have enough. No, Sableye won't have Protect. However, I'm fairly certain. Oh,
no, I don't.
Sure it's going to take it out, obviously.
Yeah.
Now I've run the calcs, and assuming that this Cloyster is jolly with max speed, it should be able to outspeed a Scarf Durant after +2.
Okay.
Unless my calculations are incorrect, they could very well be incorrect. I'm shaky off the top of my head of Durant's base speed, but if my calculations are correct, it should outspeed this Durant. But we'll have to see.
The more I think about it, the more that switching into Sableye play was the only option that Lynx had. Because if you let Durant go down, I keep wanting to call it Excadrill. If you let Durant go down, that's game over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, very interesting. What's also going to be interesting is will Oh, so it is.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh my goodness, what a turn.
That is the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, not necessarily. The Durant has hustle, which means that Thunderfang is prone to miss. I'm surprised that it actually landed against this Cloyster. So it is 1v1.
That's the game.
If this Thunderfang hits.
No, we're gonna see protect, and then next turn, if the Thunderfang hits, that is game.
This is down to the wire. This is incredible.
This has been a phenomenal match.
This has gone far and beyond what I thought I was going to see today in this battle. So the protect comes out. Yep, Thunderfang, obviously, and now
the moment of truth.
the Thunderfang
Actually, you know what?
misses.
His only option is to double protect. He's gonna DP.
I don't think so. He knows it's a foregone conclusion, and he knows the only chance he has is a Thunderfang miss. Because whether he protects again or not, Thunderfang is going to take it out,
True.
even after that minimal leftovers recovery. So
Actually, that's right. So the wish actually is the only way.
it really comes down to, is Thunderfang going to hit? And it does!
Great game, phenomenal match.
And there goes the
Lynx
battle.
Out with the win. Phenomenal.
What a phenomenal battle that was. I have to give it to both players. That was quite a battle.
Wow.
A well-earned victory for Lynx and a well-fought battle by Marashu. What a battle.
Yes.
And yeah, you better save that, because that was
battle video. That was great.
I'm glad I was able to bear witness to that, because that was good.
Hey you guys, this is Lynx Forte. I had to cut the audio out right here while I was editing, just because when I came in, I was so much louder than they were. The video was done over Skype, so it just was overwhelming when I came in. So I just cut the video. We talked a little bit about the battle and things like that after the fact. But I do want to say thank you to YBuffet and DS Gamer. You guys go check out their channels in the description. Marashu, aka Michael, is wow, I said that wrong. Michael, aka Marashu, he's also doing a Blue Kaizo Let's Play on his channel. That's in the description as well. Don't expect to see too many of these. I may do it again in the future. That was something I talked about with DS Gamer and YBuffet. But it's annoying to edit, so don't expect too many of these. Anyway, this is Lynx Forte, and I'm out. Peace.